What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another Beyond Crazy video, and as you can see from my background, I am not in my normal kitchen. That's right, we are currently in Anaheim, California. We are doing a Disneyland and California Adventures trip. Couldn't remember the name of the other park. It's been a long couple of days, but we were thinking, so we looked how much it would be to do some food delivery, and it was somewhere between $80 and $100 for the group of 8 of us to eat. And Tristan and I were like, I think we can do better than that. So we went to a local Walmart, we spent about 60 bucks, and we got some beautiful salmon and some asparagus and some other items. And let's put this meal together and let's show you what we can do for under delivery costs.
So today we're gonna do, it was supposed to be black rice. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to find any at the local market here. So it's gonna be jasmine rice. I'm gonna blanch off some bok choy, saute up some asparagus, top it with some lemon, and then we're gonna be doing a chipotle honey glaze on top of the salmon.
And it looks so good. Now, obviously it's not prepared yet, but I'm excited. And these are some beautiful fillets that we got from the store.
Skin on too.
Skin on. Whew. Each of these fillets is about $20, $21. So there's 40 bucks there, and then the assortment of vegetables and rice. And then we got some other stuff like honey, Sriracha, and olive oil.
See, honestly, this is the difference that a little bit of time and a little bit of effort can make, because I understand like the convenience, and you sit down and you eat and it's like, oh yeah, we'll just wait until the food's here. It's like for getting up and spending 1 hour of your time, you could run to the store, make something like this for your family. It's gonna be 10 times more satiating. Everyone's gonna feel full, and they're not gonna feel like crap the next day. So.
And it's good, clean ingredients.
Yeah, it's all things that you can spell, which is a big thing around the house, is like that I don't want to be eating or have everyone consuming things that we don't even know what they are because we can't even spell them, or we don't know what they actually do. So yeah, single food ingredients, definitely.
I will say there's a comment, and I'll see if I can find the comment so I can put your name up here. I was asked recently, so ever since Tristan's come to help in the kitchen, has our grocery bill gone up or has it gone down? And while I will admit that our grocery bill might have gone up slightly, our DoorDash bill was eliminated completely. I'm not gonna fool you guys, we used to DoorDash a lot. It was a lot. And so the money that we're saving in that regards is huge. And so I think it is a net win altogether. So thank you for your comment, I do appreciate it.
So something that's actually a really common kitchen practice, and something we do around here all the time, not here specifically obviously, but just in the kitchen, is going to be a damp towel, or in this case a paper towel, underneath your cutting board. It's gonna keep it from sliding around. So on this kind of a surface, obviously you've got a sharp knife you're working, this is gonna be sliding all over the place. You're putting that downward pressure on, it's gonna slip out. But if you do something as simple as this, literally you can push all you want, it's not gonna go anywhere. Yeah, keep yourself safe, especially because you should be cutting with the sharpest knives as possible. It's more dangerous to cut with a dull knife than it is a sharp one.
One of the difficult parts about being abroad is figuring out how to do the stove. Bake, 375?
Yes, sir.
I think that means it's going. All right, Tristan over here is getting our blanch water together. This is the rice we picked up at the store. So we are gonna wash our rice and get it set up and start cooking.
So it's a 2-to-1 ratio, just like a lot of other rice. So we're gonna go ahead and do probably what? 3 cups?
I think we're gonna do about 3 cups, yeah.
3 cups sounds about right.
Now I've heard you want to wash your rice 3 times until the water is coming out basically clear. Does that sound about right?
I honestly never go by 3 times. I usually just put it inside one of these strainers so that I don't have to keep doing it, and then I'll just dump out the water to see how clear it is.
Oh, that makes sense. I actually like that better. Well, it makes sense because you're on your 4th wash, and now I would say that water is pretty good. So I was watching some rice cooking videos, and I've seen that basically once you level out your rice, you want to put it so that it goes up to your first knuckle worth of water. And that's the perfect amount. And we shall see. So the water is coming together for the blanching. Let's make sure this is getting warm. That is definitely getting warm. Let's get started.
So luckily with this meal, there's not really much to prep out. So I'm just gonna cut the stems off of all of our asparagus. And then we're going to take a spoon to that ginger, take off some of those edges, and then we're going to also get a grater out, because that's gonna be grated down. Ordinarily, I know it's super wasteful. We will be getting rid of these today. Ordinarily, we would keep them, try to turn them into a stock or a broth or something. Just another little tip here. I always love using the end of the spoon, just something I was told. It helps because you're not using a grater taking off all the meat. It actually comes off super, super easily too. And this allows you the ability to like get in these little nooks and crannies and be able to like actually get all of the food.
I waste a lot of ginger because I never use this trick. And I would end up cutting too far into a knob and being like, oh.
So you're able to get like all the way in there like that. So breaking down bok choy, just another thing also, just super easy. I just like cutting the end off. I'm not a huge component of the middles. So I take out these baby ones. And then yeah, I usually leave them as pretty big leaves, but like these ones are way too big for this dish. So I'll go ahead and just these bigger ones I'll cut down. It's gonna help with the blanch too, just because we've got a smaller pot for that. This, surprisingly, is the good part of it. It's not like romaine lettuce where the other half, like this half is the best part. This is the texture. This is the good part of it. But this is obviously still getting cooked into it. We're gonna do a super basic spicy honey glaze for the salmon. I'm not gonna cook it in it just because I don't like using, like when it comes to glazing things, you normally won't wanna put that on with the entirety of the cook because it's just gonna burn it. I will say at 375 degrees, if I try to put this honey onto it and cooked it for 20, 25 minutes potentially, depending on how people want it, it's gonna not look great at the end. So I'm gonna go ahead and come in with probably 4 to 6 tablespoons of honey. We're gonna build, you guys are gonna build this with me today. It's not an exact recipe, so we're gonna find out what works. And once we find out the exact combination, I'll make sure that it's posted with that. This is going to be chili garlic sauce. You can find this at any grocery store. I'm just gonna give that probably 1 large scoop there. Just the tiniest baby amount of oil. A touch of Sriracha. And then I'm also going to juice half of one lemon into this as well. I'm just gonna give this a quick stir around. This is gonna be brought up to heat before I put it onto it. I'm not just gonna put it on cold.
Looks good.
So it's got lemon. I'm gonna add a tiny bit of salt here as well. And then after this salt, I'm gonna taste it. And then if it's a little bit too spicy, because I did use 2 things for heat and just the one for sweetness, I can throw some brown sugar into this and it's gonna do a really good job of lightening it up too. And it is a glaze. I know what you guys are thinking. Oh, how is that gonna work? It's a glaze, okay? A little bit goes a long way. Like this amount, probably gonna be enough for the both of those.
And if not, it's pretty easy to make and we'll make more. It smells so good. I think that is perfect. Ooh, that Sriracha hit. Took a moment, but it finally hit. And that's good. That's gonna be amazing. I can't wait to try this.
Cool, so like I said, we're gonna be putting that on warm, but I don't need that right now, so we're able to just cap that off. Heating it up just probably like 2 minutes before serving. Our blanch water is fully going now at a rolling boil, so I'm gonna go ahead and throw in all of my bok choy. Trying to not throw this in there in order not to splash. It's gonna be kind of crammed, don't worry about that. Just make sure everything is submerged. This is gonna clean it, pull out the vibrancy. It's also gonna par cook it, which is known as blanching, which is gonna help with how crispy these are gonna turn out. I will say, as soon as they are done, I'm gonna pull them out and I'm gonna strain them over the sink and then run cold water over them. It's gonna make them super crispy and it's gonna stop the cooking process because they're cooking until they're soggy. So we'll let those go. We also did these for the ramen. Big fan favorite around the house. Yeah, blanching is definitely, it's slept on. Super good vegetable way of preparing vegetables. All right, tell me the bad news.
Okay, I absolutely love the glaze, but I do think it might be a tad spicy for our company. So we are going to add some brown sugar, or Tristan's going to add some brown sugar, kind of mellow it out a little bit.
I mean, I did say I would. So I'm actually just gonna probably come at this with 2 teaspoons of brown sugar, and then we'll retaste. And what's really nice about this is now if it's too sweet, we can just add a little more spice to it. It's really not, there's no exact science to it, it's just figuring out what you have to add to it to make it the way you want it. Definitely a lot sweeter, not tasting as much of that heat from the chili. Surprisingly, a little bit less garlicky.
I think it's good. It's really good. I think it's good.
So I'm gonna throw this back over here because that is ready to go as far as we are concerned right now. And then I'm gonna turn my attention over here. I'm gonna kill the heat on this. I'm looking around, here we go. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab, just pouring away from myself, obviously, keep myself out of harm's way.
Yeah, look at that water, how green it was.
I'm gonna run some cold water over these to stop that cooking process. I love bok choy, it's so good.
You got me hooked on it. I'm loving it. Ever since the ramen video, I'm like, let's bok choy everything.
It's honestly so good. It's so slept on. It is.
Forget romaine lettuce. Let's just bok choy it.
Exactly. Bok choy, and I will say this, the other one is endive. If you've never had it, go try it. It's amazing. It's probably the best bitter root vegetable in existence ever. Yeah, God was going crazy with that one.
I'm gonna have to have you make me some endive then, because I don't know if I've ever had endive.
Endive.
Or if I've had it, I probably didn't know I had it.
Ooh. Awesome. So I'm gonna go ahead and prep these out. We went ahead and picked these up. This isn't our home, so we don't know, or I know that they don't have it, but they don't have sheet trays or anything that's gonna be big enough. I didn't want to buy sheet trays and Reynolds wrap and do all of that, so we're just gonna use these. Hoping for the best. We're not looking for perfection, we're looking for food. So it's gonna be nice, and it's gonna be really easy cleanup too. Just seeing as how it's not our house, we're not gonna be scrubbing down dishes or doing any of that either. We are able to just put that inside some trash bags and take that out to the curb. So I'm going to have an internal battle with this, trying to open it. Oh wait, I think I'm a hacker. You're a hacker. All right, I will say this, with any fillet, don't trust that it says it's deboned always too. You'll see them running through here, but just literally take your thumb and run it across the bit. A lot of the times when these are, I'm not sure how this one was actually processed, but they can easily splinter off, they can be broken, they can miss pins, and that makes a very, very, very unfortunate time if you don't pay attention. So yeah, just run your finger through it. This one's obviously fine. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna eyeball half of it this way, okay? I know that's not half of that weight-wise, all right? Don't attack me.
We're just trying to get it so that it fits evenly in a pan.
Yeah. This is gonna be super, super simplistic too. So it's literally just gonna be the fillet, cut into half, side by side so that it can fit. This, just a light drizzle. And then I'm gonna come in with some salt. And that is literally all that I'm putting on to start. I'm gonna go ahead and pop this in. And that is the start.
Now you just gotta do the other one. As I said before, we are serving 8 people. I don't know if everybody likes salmon, but I think everybody's willing to try it, so let's give it a go. Actually, some people, Hannah is with us. She absolutely loves salmon. I love salmon. Tristan, you love salmon, right?
Yeah.
You love salmon. So, and Hallie's here, she loves salmon, so.
What's nice too is these are actually going to keep them from laying out too. It's gonna keep them nice and uniform here, I'm thinking. Oh, do we have a culprit? And would you look at that? Speak of the devil, guys. Always make sure that you are checking your stuff, even if it tells you straight on it that it is processed through. This is coming out of the end here. Always make sure, guys, because this makes for not happy campers.
If you were to bite that could break it too, huh?
Oh, yeah, that will, it's a bone.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing as your teeth are bones. Those are literally raw fish bones. So it's you're just testing that your teeth bones are stronger than the fish bones. Never do what I'm doing.
What are you doing?
I'm switching the heat and switching it into a different pot because we don't have the water. Because we don't have the lid.
We don't have the lid.
It's okay, this one's super hot still because I just blanched in it. I'm hoping that I can bring it up to rolling boil. I just looked over and it wasn't starting to boil at all. It was starting to do some kind of weird little on the top. So hoping we're fine. Find out soon. All right, we are back. Everything is nice and clean now. So we are going to go ahead and break some of these down. I'm gonna cut these at a bias like this. I know, it's so fancy.
And just so everyone's aware, there is a trash can over there. So if you see him
it's going straight to the ground. I'm totally grating this and putting it in now because I forgot earlier. Bigger grate than I want, so I'm gonna mince it a little bit, but yeah, honestly, I'm blessed to have that start. That time has come for us to be able to throw these in. So I'm gonna go ahead and open these. I'm gonna put these on the middle rack. I'm just gonna put them side by side. because no favoritism, because everyone hates it when you have to rotate things because the top always cooks hotter than the middle. So they're both going in the middle and they can deal with it. It is just about that time. This has about 6 minutes left to run on it. It's getting pretty cooked up in here. Heat actually is really working really well. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is I'm gonna pull this out. I'm gonna separate this into quarters so that I can evenly distribute. I don't have a brush or anything, so I'm just gonna go ahead and come right across the top of spine with it. Pretty liquidy and everything still. I'm not too worried about that. It's coming right across the top. Throw this one back in the finish. Wow, I grabbed the other one. A bit more glaze. Awesome. Cool. Smells so good. I'm gonna go ahead and throw this back in. It's got about 6 more minutes, like I said, on it, and that'll come up. All right, here we go. So we're gonna start the asparagus. I'm gonna put this over medium-high heat here. So this only goes up to 7, so I'm gonna put it on 5. And I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of butter, a tiny bit of olive oil, and it's going to be for our asparagus. Our asparagus is literally just gonna be salt, a little bit of pepper to finish, and then some lemon juice to finish as well. It's gonna complement the fish really well. All right, they're looking good. I will say I'm gonna let these run just a bit longer, just looking at them. I think that I want them to go a bit, which actually works out perfectly with the timing for everyone to get back. 2 tablespoons of butter over medium-high heat. I'm gonna come in it with our asparagus from earlier. I like to, just as a weird thing, I will always lay them in a way that is away from the handle. So I can literally just do this and shake it back and forth to roll them. Not really sure the advantage or disadvantages, but it's always the way I've done them. Yeah, so we're just gonna let these go. These are probably only gonna be cooked for about 6 minutes. Like, I'm gonna be constantly moving them around, adding salt to them, just to salt and pepper just to finish them probably around that 5-minute mark. So these are being cooked off for about probably 4 minutes. They cooked a little bit quick. Salt, pepper, a little bit of lemon juice to top them off. I'm also gonna kill the heat on these. They're pretty done. I don't like them too mushy. I like them to have some kind of like crunch to them. So give these a last little flick, and we'll start getting this. Those are ready for the serve.
How's the salmon? Are we ready to plate?
Yes, sir. The salmon is done, or as done as it's going to be. So I'm gonna pull this out. Let's see here.
It smells amazing.
Not the best coverage on this, but I'm gonna do the best I can with what I have, so.
Okay, so the salmon is almost here. Are you excited?
I am. I love salmon and asparagus and rice. So
It's a win-win-win.
yeah, I don't think I've ever had honey glazed salmon. That's what it is, right?
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever tried that. So I'm excited.
Pick this bad boy up. Came right off the skin there.
Yeah, that actually worked out really well. The skin was left behind.
You know when it's looking good? When you start to cut it and the meat just starts ripping apart instead of cutting straight through it. But if you look, this is as moist as you're ever gonna see salmon. That's why I like baking it versus searing it. The sear gets a really nice crisp skin, but what I will say is that I don't eat the chicken for the skin, I eat the chicken for the thigh meat, or the meat in general. So it's the same thing with this, in my opinion.
Tristan just checked the rice,
Beautiful.
and it's beautiful.
Covered.
So the one knuckle trick worked.
The vision I have for this is a loosely packed ball on the bottom. This beautiful jasmine rice. Let's unpack it a tiny bit. Also, I threw in, I had these inside the refrigerator, these bok choy. I just went ahead and threw them in with the already hot asparagus. So those are just gonna come up to temp. I just want them warmed up a little bit so they're not
Freezing.
Exactly.
Messing with the artiste.
Some bok choy on it. Here.
Wow.
All right, Hallie's our first
Taste tester.
taste tester.
First we're going with the salmon. That's really good. Yeah. Asparagus. That was pretty good. Should I try this leaf thing?
The bok choy. Try it out.
interesting. Okay, would you like my rating?
Yes.
Okay, the dish is an 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10.
I'm gonna sacrifice a small piece of this. I'm obviously gonna eat it, but literally this is what I think of every time I see someone cook fish at home. Is what I feel like I'd want to see, is how it smashes behind the back of a fork. It's breaking up real nice, super juicy.
I am gonna give this a 10 out of 10. This is the best salmon I've ever had. Every time I've eaten salmon, I want to say it was always pan-seared and not baked. And I agree. I think baking is the way to go. And that glaze, oh, it just complements the flavor of the salmon just so well. And the rice is perfect. It's a perfect dish. This might be my new favorite dish that we're gonna start cooking weekly.
You know it's good food when Aaron's quiet when he's eating. Because he's never quiet, guys. This
so
is a
good.
chatterbox.
I'm a
He's a chatterbox. Actually, what's the favorite meal that you've ever made?
This.
It's really good.
It all comes back to the glaze. There's just something about this glaze. It's hitting right to it. You guys should definitely try this one.
Major thumbs up.
Listen to me. It's all about ginger for him and buffalo for her. That's all you have to do, and it's a 10.
So usually I'm not a fish person, like I won't eat just like seafood, unless it's like some of them, but this salmon was really good. Well done.
All right, Hannah, what do you think of it?
I can't eat anymore.